You hear of murder cases often, but how many involve a 17-year-old girl, 26 stab wounds, and a life sentence overturned because of a single spoken threat? In Singapore's tightly controlled legal system, the Court of Appeal has just made a shocking decision that's stirring debates across the country. A domestic helper who was previously jailed for life for killing her employer's mother-in-law has had her conviction reduced. Why? Because the court believes a reasonable person might have done the same thing in her position. Stay tuned, because this story dives deep into the fragile lives of foreign domestic workers, the legal definition of provocation, and how desperation, age and fear collided to create a tragedy. Zin Mar Nwe was just 17 years old when she came to Singapore from Myanmar. Her passport listed her as 23 to meet the legal requirements for domestic work, but in truth, she was still a teenager, emotionally vulnerable, financially burdened and far from home. In June 2018, after only 2 weeks working for her third employer, things took a horrifying turn. Her employer's elderly mother-in-law, a 70-year-old woman from India, had come for a 1-month stay. One day when the two were alone, the older woman allegedly threatened to send Zin Mar Nwe back to her agent. To you or me, that might sound like a typical domestic rebuke. But for Zin Mar Nwe, it felt like the end. Her lawyer argued that she feared deportation would not just mean failure, it could trap her in lifelong debt back home. That threat, combined with prior scolding and alleged mistreatment, pushed her over the edge. What happened next was brutal. She grabbed a kitchen knife and stabbed the woman 26 times. After the stabbing, Zin Mar Nwe didn't run far. She took some cash and went to her employment agency, asking for her passport. When she realized they were alerting her employer, she panicked and fled. Hours later, she returned and was arrested. At first, she blamed 2 mysterious men. But her story didn't hold. In 2023, she was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. But here's where it gets legally fascinating. Her new lawyer, Josephus Tan, appealed the sentence, arguing that the stabbing wasn't cold-blooded murder, it was an act triggered by grave and sudden provocation. He said the constant job changes, the fear of deportation, and the emotional pressure created a psychological time bomb. The prosecution disagreed, calling her reaction extreme and arguing there was no physical evidence of abuse. But the Court of Appeal, led by Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon, made a bold move. They found that Zin Mar Nwe's age, emotional distress, and the credible fear of being sent back justified downgrading the charge to culpable homicide not amounting to murder. Now she no longer faces mandatory life imprisonment. Instead, her sentence could be reduced to a term of up to 20 years. So what do you think, was justice served or bent? Does a 17-year-old deserve life imprisonment for a fatal overreaction? Should courts place more weight on emotional distress, youth and vulnerability? We want to hear from you. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you've ever had a strong opinion on how justice should balance law and empathy, this is the story to talk about. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more in-depth breakdowns of real cases that make us question the world around us. This is 2230, where stories don't just report facts, they ask why those facts matter.